My name is Ajani Wilson. I'm from Woodbridge, Virginia, right outside of DC. I'm a photographer, and I just go by Ajani Wilson. I've been shooting for about 2 years. I took a photography class in high school as an easy A, and I liked it, and I was pretty natural at it. So I kind of just kept shooting for fun. And my favorite shoot that I've done, I think it was last year. I did some right around when George Floyd died. I was in Wichita, Kansas at the time with a friend. We found this like real old police car, like when I say old, it's like 1950s, 60s type deal. And I was like, yo, we gotta shoot this. So I did like a little silhouette with the car and with my friend, kind of like fighting the car just to more accurately display how I was feeling at the time. So I was born in the south side of Chicago, but I wasn't raised there. My family's from there. Moved around a bit. My mother got her PhD, so I was raised with books all around me. Learned to read pretty early on. Grew up with no father. Been homeless a few different times. Sleeping on the streets. Now I went to boarding school and high school. Real rich, real preppy, but it taught me a lot. I guess like trauma is a direct influencer on your art. So I definitely say that my childhood had an influence on my art, and just it being the way that I express myself and how I get things off my chest, if I can't use words at the time. Surprisingly, none of my biggest inspirations are photographers or artists. My biggest inspiration is Malcolm X, because it taught me from when I was really early just not to give a fuck about what nobody was saying, or not being afraid of stepping on people's toes, but still being strategic with how you act. And I kind of take that into my photography. Like, I'm not gonna do anything super crazy in a photo shoot, but it's still gonna assault you, like mentally. It's gonna make you confront different things. Remember, I did a project a few years ago on the objectification of women at my high school. I went to an all-boys boarding school, and we only had 2 female teachers. So you find all the posters of all the women on the walls, naked or barely clothed. You hear the locker room talk, and so I did a project about that. And I didn't really care if the administration didn't want me to do it, but I ended up getting put in the gallery, and it turns out they changed my project for me. They changed my wording on my summary. There were some of the photos they didn't let get put up. So, but yeah, Malcolm X definitely a big influencer, and then J. Cole. Just I love his music, and I see his maturity through his music, and I also look at my art and I see how I've matured as a person through my art over the years. So I go to Middlebury College, and somebody reached out to me and still wanted me to work on a magazine with them. And when I got to the school, people already knew about my art, and people already knew about my photography, and they really liked it. And I was like, okay. I thought I was just doing it for fun at that time. I wasn't really trying to make no money off of it. When people started coming to me and saying they liked my art, because that had never happened before, that's when I felt solidified as a photographer. Iman Green and Faith Evans, they my homies. They've been with me since the beginning. Deani Wilson Brooks, Aussie Joseph, Justine Conrad, and Kenny MB. So all my dogs, people I grew up with, kept me grounded in rough times in my life. Especially Iman and Faith. Those people stuck by me through thick and thin. Inspiration comes in flashes. So whenever those flashes come, I try to capture that in some way, whether it's drawing it out, writing it out, going in my notes, or further developing it in my mind. I'm a super visual person, so I can look at something and then see it from all different angles. So I try and create an environment in my head when I get a project idea, and then I go and I write down location, models I want, the emotions I'm trying to evoke. So that's really how my creative process looks. And then I go out, I take the photos, I find the models, and I take the photos, edit. And then what I'm editing is also where I really try and bring out some different stuff using colors, lighting, simple things like that. I've ran into a couple iffy situations, people asking for free photo shoots, or models telling me about uncomfortable experiences that they've had with other photographers. But I think that's generally universal. Something that's unique to Maz. I think just this summer, the unreliability of the weather, that works. But I love working with the models I've worked with. Shout out Chenna. Shout out William Dean, shout out Treasure, shout out them people out. What I find most often with photography and art in general, and more specifically photography and fashion, is that it's a very white space when it comes to high fashion and when it comes to who's making the most money, and it's about who you have connections to. So if you are a low-income kid, you know, or you come from a place where there's not a lot of opportunity for you to get out and network, you're not really gonna get the opportunities that you dream of without having that connection or having those connections. So it's hard to find paid work and value paid work. You know, my goal is to shoot for Vogue. That's my goal. I'll put that out here right now. But the road to finding that is a lot harder for me as a black male and as just an African American individual than it would be for a white person who might have connections via their parents, uncles, cousins, or aunts. My uncles, cousins, aunts, and parents don't have those connections in any way, shape, or form, and most people in our community don't. So it is difficult finding paid work and quality work. I'll even be willing to do some free work as long as it gives me some exposure, but it has to be adequate exposure, and I have to be reaching out to you. When I'm getting that writer's block for photography and I really absorb and enjoy other people's art without focusing on my own, trying not to think about, oh, what shoot am I going to do next? Because, you know, if I'm forcing it, then it's not natural, and if it's not natural, it's not going to be, you know, it's not going to be good. COVID has had an odd impact on my career. At first, it was hard to find models just because of, you know, the restrictions, the masks, places being shut down, things being blocked off. But I think once COVID ended, things started to really pop off for me. Not ended, it's not over, please still be safe. But once the mask mandate was lifted and the vaccine came out and it was available widely to the public, people started to reach out to me to shoot more events started happening, fashion shows. COVID kind of helped and hurt me. I felt like as soon as it ended, people were ready to get out and they were contacting me left and right, let's shoot, which I don't think would have happened if COVID never happened. But also during COVID, it was very limiting upon my creative ability. I'm on Instagram, real.ajani. Ajani is spelled A-J-A-N-I. Website is ajaniwilson.com. My TikTok is Ajani Wilson Photo. Thank you for watching my episode of Meet the Creators. Like and subscribe. Thank you, Janaea. Thank you, Kincaid. Please, by all means, share their videos, share their page, share this video as well. They create dope content for people out here, and they're gonna do big things. Just watch out.